Everybody, this is Andrew from T is for Tech, and today I have another lightsaber to look at. I know I've reviewed a couple lightsabers on the channel in the past, so these are always fun to unbox and look at. So this one is actually from a company called SaberForms. I'll obviously link to that in the description so you can take a look at it. And this is the Anakin version 2, I believe. I haven't opened it yet, but that's what I was told this was. I do have to thank SaberForms for sending this over to the channel for an unboxing and a look. So we'll just start off and open it up. So this is the NeoPixel version of this. All the different pieces here. How do you charge it? This does have a rechargeable battery. How do you put the blade in and keep it tight? An Allen wrench. So if I take a look at this, it does include obviously the hilt, which is an aluminum alloy. It's a 6063 aluminum alloy. The blade material is a spotlight polycarbonate. It has the RGB LED strip inside, and that is a 50 watt LED strip. It includes a 2-watt speaker, a 3200 milliamp hour battery, which is a pretty big battery. It says operating time is about 4 hours, charging time about 2 hours. This one has 27 sound fonts, 12 blade colors, 9 blade effects, 11 different ignition effects. Yeah, so we'll take a look at this. So in here you do get a stand, which is kind of a, as you can see, it's like a die-cut polycarbonate or die-cut plexiglass. So you can put this together, put the blade on a stand for display, which is pretty cool. Also in here you have a USB-C connector, so this is to charge it. There's a couple screws and Allen wrench type things in there that we'll need. So I was actually wrong. This is not the Anakin version 2, as I was kind of told that it would be. This is actually what SaberForms calls their Judger. So this is, as far as I'm aware, not, an actual lightsaber from any of the movies, but this is a lightsaber called the Judger. So I was a little bit bummed about that because I thought this was going to be the Anakin. The Anakin saber. Well, anyways, so this is very cool. This is really high quality. As you can see, all metal. Well, I guess you can't see, but it is all metal. It is all aluminum. It has pretty good weight to it. It does have an unscrewable end here, so there is a connector then they can use to do a dual, like a dual saber sort of setup, where you can connect two together, like a Darth Maul sort of setup. But if you don't do that, then it just has this bottom piece that goes on. And then the blade, like I said, is polycarbonate. And it does have like the NeoPixel strip on the inside. So you'll see here, there's like a little bit of a connector. So there is a connector here. And then you basically, I don't know if you can see down inside there, there is a bunch of prongs that then touch the different areas here. So once you stick this together and then screw in the little retaining screws, then it should make the contact so that it lights up. So as you can see here, there's some Allen screws that go in here with this Allen wrench. So as long as that's seated in there tightly, you can tighten these down. Now, you don't want to tighten them too tight because you don't want to risk cracking the polycarbonate blade, but you also want them tight enough so that the blade doesn't fly out if you're swinging it around. So basically, just kind of do that. So there's a bunch of different ways, and you use these two buttons to kind of do the different stuff. So the first button here is the power button, and then you can also change the ignition mode just by holding it down. So this is an ignition mode 4, and I believe it has 10 different ones, and you can see here what happens. And if you do it again, it says ignition 5.
Ignition 6.
So there's a way to change. So there's a way to change the ignition modes just by holding that in. So the blade effects, you have to. This is the power main button. This is the aux button.
Basic 2.
And that changes the different blade effects. So there's different ways that the blade lights up. To change the colors, you have to kind of hold it at a down angle. Hold the button and then twist it. So it's kind of interesting there. So it's interesting. There's some. Not only pressing the buttons, but you can do like motion effects to change the colors as well and do some of the different things. So I'll be honest with you, I need to review all of this. This is kind of confusing from the directions on how to do all of this with the Saber, because there's only 2 buttons, but there's all these different modes and all that different stuff. So while I kind of figure that out off camera after this video, I do want to just kind of show some of the different lighting effects and all of that with the lights turned off. So I'm going to go ahead, switch over to a different view, and record some of the Saber in some of the different lights, some of the different effects and things like that that are coming off of this. So overall, this is really well made. It feels very solid. Again, I'm not into like any kind of sword fights or anything like that. But it has the flash on clash and the sound effects when you hit the blade and all of that. So, really well featured, lots of features on this. I do also believe this has an SD card slot on the inside that you can customize with the NeoPixel. Customizes the sound fonts, customize other things by loading things onto the SD card. You might have to look into the directions a little bit more how to do that. But that's there. This is where you plug it into the USB-C to charge it. There's the speaker on the bottom that kind of echoes into the bottom of the cap there. But overall, just really, really cool device. Yeah, I got to get used to it. I keep turning it on by accident. I'll put the specs on the screen here of all of what this offers, so you can take a look at that. Then I'll jump over and show you some of the effects in the dark so that you can see how this actually lights up. It's hard to tell how cool this NeoPixel is when I have all these lights on. So let's jump over there and check it out. So as you can see, all in all, this has a lot of features and it looks great in the dark. The animations on the NeoPixel RGB lights is also amazing. So really digging this lightsaber. So I'm going to go ahead and link to this in the description of the video. So if you want to check it out, you can go to the SaberForms website. I do know that they have some various sales running and potentially some coupon codes. If I find any of those, I'll link to those in the description so you can save a little bit of money on this. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and post those below. This is Andrew from TS for Tech. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.